Hi guys, my name is Taylor. Welcome to my channel. As you can tell by the title of today's video, it's going to be a story time about how I found out I was pregnant at 17 with this little girl right here. Her name is Sarai. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump right into it. Why did I turn the test over and it said pregnant? What? Basically, this story starts when I was 16, turning 17. So me and my now fiance,
clock that T.
We have met when we were like, I was 12, he was 13, and we were on like Instagram, and we were just like texting every day. We became best friends, and then we would just like flirt here and there, like, but like innocent flirt.
No, you fucking lying, bitch.
And then one day, it was like not too long before I turned 17. I was 16 still though. One day he like slid up on my story and he had said something, and I just decided to like stop playing hard to get in, because it had been like 3 years, and we just like linked with him in person. So, and mind you, we knew we lived in the same city because all those years ago of us texting. So we reconnect, we meet up, and at this time I'm at my grandfather's house because I had ended up getting kicked out of where I was living at the time, which was with my grandmother. I ended up at my grandfather's house, right? I was there and I asked my grandfather, I said, hey grandpa, can he come over? Like, we want to watch a movie and just hang out. So we hung out, and really after that day we started going together. And it just went from that to us like being around each other every single day. Mind you, at the time I worked at Taco Bell, and then he worked at a Whataburger in the city that we used to be in. And so, but we were working full-time hours because I wasn't in high school, he wasn't in high school. So we just kind of, whenever we weren't at work, we spent time together. So fast forward, I ended up getting kicked out of my house again, and by this time my birthday done already passed and I'm 17. So, and me and him have only been together for like kind of going on 2 months, right? And so, or was it going on 3? One of those. So I ended up moving in with him and his grandmother, and that's really where the story starts. So I move in, and I want to say like after a couple weeks of us living together, I just like one night I just started to notice I could not sleep. I already have like pretty bad insomnia, but this particular night it was like horrible. Any position I turned on, like if I turned on my side, if I was on my back, if I turned on my other side, if I was laying on my stomach, I could not. A couple of days later, by this time me and my grandmother were back communicating with each other, like actually talking and stuff. So I ended up going over to my grandfather's house because my grandmother, she was living with my grandpa at this time because she had moved out of the house that we used to live in. So I'm sitting on the bed in like a sports bra, and I'm just like sitting there chilling, and he was at work. And so my grandmother, she just looks at me like this. She says, and I said, yes. Get up, we're going to the store. And I'm just looking at her like, for what? She says, because you're pregnant. And I'm like, Ma, I don't even do stuff like that. She says, oh, you must think I was born last night. She even one of them. And so she was just like, you guys live together. I know what y'all be doing. I know that you're pregnant. Like, come on, you're pregnant. Mind you, she had already been asking me, but I would always say no, because when I did take a pregnancy test, it would always come out negative. So I'm over here thinking like, oh, I'm good, I'm infertile, like I'm T. Y'all don't ever say, oh, I can't get pregnant or it can't happen to me. Is when it's gonna happen to you. Don't let those words come out your mouth. And mind you, the day before, I had literally took a pregnancy test because my fiance kept saying like I was very moody, I was like acting weird. So it came out negative, so I'm just thinking I'm good. My grandmother, we go to like a Dollar Tree, and I ended up getting like 2 pregnancy tests. They were both clear blue pregnancy tests. One was like the one with the plus sign, one was the digital one. My grandma, she tells me that as soon as we get into the house to go in the bathroom, just take the test. And so I'm like, okay, cool, I'm already knowing this gonna come out negative. Y'all, so I walk into the bathroom and all of a sudden my heart just drops. I couldn't even explain it, it just fell off. It was the first time I had ever felt like that. Go into the part of the bathroom like where the toilet's at, get like a cup and, you know, TMI, pee in the cup and put the pregnancy test in there. Both of them, I kid you not, I put the pregnancy test, both of them turned over on the counter, and before I could even pull up my pants, I turned the test over. Why I say pregnant? No. Sitting there and I literally go like this. What? I turned the other one over. Dark blue lines. No way, I'm actually pregnant. I go straight to the living room where my grandma is and I said, Ma. She said, what's wrong? Look at her dead in her face. And I just start bawling and I hand her the test and she says, I knew it. I'm thinking she's gonna be like, you know, disappointed. She's gonna cuss me out. She's gonna do all this stuff. My grandmother was a teen mother herself at 17. I already knew like that was like the last thing she ever wanted from me. Instead of flashing out on me, she just looked at me and she just hugged me. And I just started like bawling my eyes out. Just like, it's okay, Taylor, it's okay. You have choices, you know, what do you wanna do? I'm sitting there and I'm just like in shock. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like my whole life is flashing for me. And after I want to say like 5-10 minutes of me just bawling my eyes out, I finally calmed down and my grandma says, whatever decision you make, I'm going to be here for you. What do you want to do? I want to keep the baby. And so she just said, it's going to be hard, but I support your decision. When I said those words, everything just came like very like real. Like my mindset in like an instant just changed. But when I found out I was pregnant, everything changed, everything. My grandmother, she comes back in the bathroom and she says, do you want to tell your grandpa? And so I'm just like, no, I can't. You have to tell grandpa. She says, Taylor, tell your grandpa. So I'm like, you know what? He's going to find out sooner or later. So I go in the living room, I tell my grandpa. He says, Taylor. And I said, I know, grandpa. And so I'm crying. My grandpa's holding me and he's just like, it's gonna be okay. It's not the end of the world, right? I have to tell my fiance. And so at the time we weren't, you know, he wasn't my fiance, he was just my boyfriend. But you know, I'm like, I gotta tell him. I FaceTime him, finally answers. And he just looks at me and says, it's positive, isn't it? I was like, yes. He was like, let me see. So I flipped the camera over on FaceTime and the pregnancy test on the counter. I'll insert the picture here. He immediately just starts like smiling and crying. What are you smiling for? He just is like, I'm just happy. I know we're young, but I'm happy and blah, 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 blah. So when I seen that was his reaction, I was very like relieved, because in the beginning I thought like he's not gonna like, you know, be there, nothing, right? And I was ready for that. Like a couple hours later, he gets off work and as soon as he walks through the door, he just gives me a big hug. And I just start crying again. Like I was crying all day, I just start crying again. And so he's like, you're okay, we're gonna figure this out. He's like, we're gonna raise this baby together. And I said, okay. Later on that night, we ended up going back to his grandmother's house. He ends up telling his grandmother that I'm pregnant, that we're gonna be getting our own place soon. He ends up just saying, you know, like, congratulations. I'm not gonna lie, in my head, that's the last thing I wanted to hear was the congratulations, because what do you mean? What do you honestly mean right now? Y'all, tell me why we found out I was 5 weeks pregnant. I'm like, there's no way I'm 5 weeks pregnant, I just did not know. So I ended up booking an ultrasound appointment and they tell me the same thing. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So, and that was also the first time I heard my daughter's heartbeat, and I'll show you guys the video. Oh my gosh. So after that, I started going to like my OBGYN appointments, and you know, I started showing. The middle of my pregnancy kind of is when I started showing a bit. I had like such like a little bump, but I thought it was just so cute. I went to get a 3D and a 4D ultrasound, and y'all, I fell in love. I fell in love so bad with this girl. Her ultrasound pictures, she looked like me. She came out looking different. And I was like, girl, this girl right here, she took me through it. And it was like the worst and best time of my life. Yes, y'all, this is my daughter. Her name is Sarai Victoria Sydney Elise. She's my whole world. Simple as that. I love this little girl so much. Say hi. Yeah, that was just, my story. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Anybody watching is a teen mother. I just want to let you guys know it does get better. You just remember that you're doing it for your baby. No way, shape, or form am I trying to glorify teen pregnancy or trying to promote teen pregnancy. I'm just telling you guys my story, and I wanted to share my journey with you guys and any other teen mothers out there that just want a safe space and want to feel like they are noticed and that they are seen. So that's just kind of my goal with this. My daughter is 3 months old. She turned 3 months April 29th. That's just kind of what it is. Oh, also I am 18 now. You got much love from me and Sarai. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe once again. Without further ado, I'll see you guys next time.